the future. This is not about the five of us. It's not about a legacy. It's not about any people in this room. It's about our children, our children's children, for what we're leaving them. Are we going to expect them in 3 or 4 years when you all get tired of calling us up about potholes and this, that, and the other thing? Throw the bums out. So we're all going to be thrown out of office, but you're still going to have potholes. You're still going to have streets that potentially will collapse. So here we are. We have a choice. I'm going to tell you something. At the end of the day, I think Lake Worth is better off today and positioned better today than it was 30 years ago, and I'm still very proud to be a part of that. As far as the numbers, I don't think we had a presentation on the numbers as far as the millage, the potential exposure on the millage rate. I would like to point out that according to some published reports, and I guess out of the city manager's office, it looks like our property values for the city are going to raise a little bit over 8% this year in value, which is absolutely outstanding news. I think for the last several years, our property values have actually declined year over year. This may be the first year in a number of years that our property values have actually gone up. Now this program, the whole financing of this program was calculated or modeled, if you will, over the potential of a 4% increase going forward. And that's how we generated the numbers that we've been sharing with the public. Well, that 3.45 bills that we're asking folks to vote about in August has now dropped, because of the property increase in values, has now dropped to about 3.1, 3.5, 3.8, help me out here.
3.18.
3.18. So we've already shaved
27 cents.
over a quarter of a mil off of what we were talking about last week before we go to the ballot box. We've already shaved. A direct example of what we're trying to explain when we talk about planning for the future, investing for the future. As our property values rise, that millage rate will start to decline like it just did. It will start to decline. Some of the folks that haven't been paying taxes because of their homestead exemptions will finally be paying a little bit into the system. And that's good news for all of us. Okay, that's good news for all of us. In closing, I guess it's going to be no secret how I'm going to vote on this, but in closing, I would like to also throw this out, and I discussed this very briefly with the city manager before the meeting tonight. We modeled this 2020 plan based on a 4% increase in property values. And we're starting off with an 8 point whatever increase. My challenge to the city manager and to this commission is that we take a hard look at that 4% that we were kind of expecting, that we got, and we take a look at that number and see if we cannot also reduce your ad valorem taxes with that new money. Okay, which is exactly what this plan is intended to do. As the property, if the tax base increases, we have more money in the pot. If we can be diligent and wise and smart and work together as a team and as a community, and don't be tempted to take that newfound money and spend it like happened during the housing boom. We've already had to cut everything back to the bare bones now. Okay, so we didn't have it last week, we didn't have it this week. I say give it back to the taxpayers. So that's what I'm proposing to this commission. We're going to make good on all the promises, all the commitments, all the things that we believe in our hearts are going to take place. The positive things are going to take place with this. Okay, as I said a year ago when we started talking about this, this city has undergone a lot of change and undergone many projects. Some of them have been okay, successful, some not so much. We cannot afford to get this wrong, because this is about trust. This is absolutely about trust. And if we don't do, I'll speak for myself, I won't speak for my colleagues. If this plan is voted on by the people and it doesn't work out the way it's supposed to roll out, then I would expect you to throw me out of office. Okay? I would expect you to do it in a millisecond. Because no elected officials should stand up here and commit to you the way we're committing to you, and do it in a way that is distrustful dishonest, or deceiving. Did I miss anything?
No, you got a lot of the things I was gonna talk about, so that's good.
Okay. Well, again, thank you all. I did pare it down to maybe 8 or 9 minutes. But thank you all for coming out tonight, and thank you all for your careful and thoughtful consideration on this issue.
I'd just like to sum things up on the point that you just hit on. Back in 2008, 2009, when you think about it, think about this number. We were a $3 billion organization. We were a $3 billion organization. Was that correct, Rick?
Tax base.
Tax base. Now we're a $1 billion tax base. That's how much we've suffered in the recent years, and that's how much our property values have dropped. So how do you run a city with that much of a difference? And that's one of the things that the Vice Mayor touched on, that people understand is what you were paying at that time. This all started with a conversation, and I still remember sitting up here as green as could be, and someone saying the fact that our budget wasn't very exciting, it wasn't very sexy. And I remember thinking,